Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Wizard, and what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present to you Wizard. Here we go. And if you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills, on the far right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills, and then the column CD is cooldown for each skill. Next to that is charges, which is how many times you can use that skill. And then hits is how many times the skill will hit a creature or player's character in the game world. And then damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And of course, you have the passive at the bottom. So, just a few things to point out here, and that is, if you're looking over on the specials on the right hand side, what is colored in red does not apply in Arena. Everywhere else in the game it will apply, but just not in Arena. And there is something new to call your attention to. I have not seen this before, but it is with the skill Thunderbolt Strike. There are options with it. So first of all, if you look to the right where it says specials, you can choose either to tap on it to get a 12-second random attack. A cloud will come out and it'll strike enemies that are over it for 12 seconds. Or you can hold the skill button down and it'll do a 7-hit attack right away, and then you'll have to wait 12 seconds to use the skill again. Or you can do both at the same time. You know that it's 12 seconds for the duration, so you can say count to 6 or 7 roughly while it does its random attacks, and then hold the skill button down to get that 7-hit attack. And then by that time, I'm pretty confident the skill will be ready to be used again, because, well, you know, the time has elapsed. So your choice. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the top 8 PVE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome. What I've done here is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Earthquake is your highest damaging skill, and that one is really different. So allow me to explain. If you tap on Earthquake, you're going to get 960% damage at the start, and then for 4 seconds it'll show 4 pulses on the ground that you activated it on to give you 100% of the damage of Earthquake 4 times. So if you add all the percentages together, so it's 960 plus 400, yeah, Earthquake is your highest damaging skill. Easily, by miles. So that's why I put it can hit 1 to 5 times. If you tap on it and hit the creatures and then walk away and the creatures walk away with you, they're only going to get hit 1, maybe 2 times, because you didn't stay there for them to get hit the full amount of 1 initial and 4 pulses. So wanted to explain that one, because, you know, it just doesn't look clear when you're looking at it like this. So other than that, take a moment to look at everything here. The reason why there's skills in green is because we can only take 8 skills into the game world at a time, and I'm suggesting or recommending these 8 because they're the highest percentage skills. Now please, once you get the hang of how the skills work and what you like and don't like, do not forget about Elemental Veil. You have to be level 70 to unlock it, but when you get it, it is a heal. So when you're out there with potions and Elemental Veil equipped, you are doubling your chances to have survivability when fighting creatures out there in the world. So always consider adding a heal or any of the other skills into your into the rotation of what you use. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome. We have a lot to cover on the PvP slide, so let's go ahead and knock out the basics. I have organized all the skills according to the column of damage-PvP, with the highest skill at the top all the way to the lowest at the bottom. And once again, everything colored in green is my recommendations for you to try out and use because of the highest percentage damage that they have. Now, you already know about the stuff over in red, and I talked about Thunderbolt Strike and Earthquake. So what we're going to do is I'm going to explain how your passive works, and then I have a video that shows you it in action so you can see what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and jump to that. Your passive is called Elemental Flow, and the description that they show in the game is different from what I'm saying here. So using a skill will activate your passive and give you a stack of Elemental Flow for 60 seconds. By the way, that is long. 60 seconds, 1 minute? Using more skills will refresh the duration and increase the stack up to a maximum of 5. In essence, what I'm trying to tell you is your passive, if you are always using your skills, will always be with you, and chances are will always be maxed out at 5. Not too hard. So what happens is 2 things. Looking to the right, you gain the Elemental Flow effect upon every use of skill, up to 5 stacks, and Mana Echo, which is the second skill from the top at 570%, its cooldown will be -1 second every time you gain the effect of Elemental Flow. So the cooldown can be up to -5 seconds off of that skill. So you'll be able to get Mana Echo a lot quicker because you're simply just using your skills. And Mana Echo is important because the next part at the bottom, which says you can spend Elemental Flow stacks when using the skill Mana Echo to gain the following effects. And there's a lot here, so here we go. It's damage versus monsters, plus 10% for 15 seconds. PvP damage dealt, plus 10% for 15 seconds. PvP damage taken is -5% for 15 seconds, plus a reduction of PvP damage taken for each Elemental Flow stack you have, times 2%. So that's, I believe if I did the math right, that is up to 10%, along with the -5% added together reduction of PvP damage. So, oh my gosh, you guys have got to be like, wow, that's really great. You also increase all the skills damages for 2 seconds by the Elemental Flow stacks you have, times 15%. So if I'm reading this right, 15% times 5 is definitely going to be very damaging and helpful to you to really punch hard with your skills. You get super armor for 2.5 seconds and you recover 50 MP. So all of that stuff happens when you're simply using your skills and you decide to activate the effects when you use Mana Echo. So you have to choose wisely when you're going to use that skill on a creature or a player's character. And of course, What makes this different from all the other characters out there is normally when you use your heal component, like Elemental Veil, it would kick in the passive automatically, but this time, nope. Using your heal does nothing to activate your passive. And as you can see, it's really easy to use and really easy to build up 5 stacks. So the only choice you really have is, when am I going to use Mana Echo? And we will show that to you in the video coming right up. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, let's move over to that video. Here we go. Okay, so what we have here is the Mana Echo at the top in red and 4 lightning skills. And I want to point out the Lightning Surge, which tells you that you can combo it with Lightning Storm, and what else? It was Voltaic Pulse, and of course its own one, Lightning Surge. That icon, it kind of went a little quick, so let's go ahead and show it to you again, just using Mana Echo. Now let's go back to our buffs, so we'll tap on that. Yep, let's get away from him. And there it is. Elemental Flow, and you can see 60 seconds on the clock, and it's 1 stack. So we're going to mess with these guys over here and just show you how easy it is to get up there. And I'm also going to try to do the combos. That skill I just tapped on, which does an explosion, so they're saying do that, and then immediately this one, and it just goes in and explodes. So it's a recommendation to try to use Lightning Surge in with your other lightning attacks, and you'll just notice it does a 1-2 punch. It's really nice. So I'm just messing around with all the lightning skills, building up the stacks to 5. You could probably already see that I'm at 5. Let's get away from them, and there it is. And this, just the seconds on there, it really doesn't matter. If you keep using your skills, the stacks will always be with you. So once again, when you go to tap on the Mana Echo, you'll notice it just does a tremendous amount of damage. So it's like, goodbye. And that's how it works. There's no need for any aura or anything around you to let you know there's a passive working. You just look at the bottom above your health bar. You look above your health bar and you'll see the icon for the Elemental Flow stacks, and just decide when you want to use Mana Echo. That's pretty much it. And so we'll just mess around with them for a little bit more, and we will head right back. Yep, there we go. I think we're gonna pick on them one more time. Goodbye. So rewarding. So once again, let's go ahead and head back to the PvP slide. Here we go. And welcome back. So as you can see, it's not too hard to activate your passive, and you should have a pretty good idea of where to look and what it looks like. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome. So before we begin, allow me to show you where this is at. If you're in the game and you tap on the interface and you look over to the right where it says skills, and you tap on that, and now you're on the skills screen, and you go to the middle of the screen and down, you'll see a magnifying glass with a circle around it. It's and the words skill combos. Tap on that and a window will appear that shows list of skill combos. However, you'll have to scroll up and down to see it, and what I've done is I've taken all that you have there and put it on one screen for you to print out, use, or just see all of it at once. So now that you know where it's at, let me tell you how this works. On the left hand side in blue is the skill you would start with, and then the chain into a skill that's in gray. So looking at this, I have a 4, maybe 5 hit combo to share with you, and it starts like this. If you go from Earth's Calling in the bottom left corner, and you go to Lightning Storm in gray, and then move up to Lightning Storm in blue, and that to Voltaic Pulse, and look over to the right, from Voltaic Pulse to Lightning Surge, and Lightning Surge, at that moment, that's a 4 hit combo. Tapping on Lightning Surge again makes it a 5 hit combo, but you could probably just keep tapping that like crazy. And then it just stops right there. There is something you might be able to do with Terra Strike, but it's not really a 4 hit. Terra Strike to Voltaic Pulse to Lightning Surge. So 1, 2, 3 hit combo. That's how this works. Ultimately, this is a screen that Pearl Abyss has given you so that you can get an idea on how to create combos. Ultimately, using Wizard over a long length of time, you'll know what works best and what you like, and you'll come up with your own combos. But this allows you to get a fresh start. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome. If you are new to the enhancement slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills. On the far right hand side is the branch damage connected to those skills. And then the 4 columns in the center from left to right, the first, second, and fourth one are enhancements that benefit your wizard. The third column is things that happens to the creature or the player's character you are fighting. So allow me to explain how this works. When you are on your skill screen, and let's just choose Mana Echo, if you tap on that skill and you look to the left of the skill, you'll see that it has the icon in the center and it has 3 bubbles around it. Those are enhancements. Now, normally you can tap on one of those bubbles, and if you pay some silver, you can unlock it, but other times there's a level requirement, meaning you need to gain experience with the skill Mana Echo, and when you get up to a certain level, which might be indicated as a red number, so like level 2, 3, and it goes up, then you'll have the option to pay silver, unlock it, and it's now yours every time you use Mana Echo. Let's just say plus 15% attack range. It had a red number 2, so you learned the skill through skill books, and I'll explain that in a sec. You learn that skill, you get 2 skill books, now you're at level 2, for example, and now you can pay silver, so every time you use Mana Echo, you get plus 15% range added onto it, so your skill stretches further out. The goal is to unlock all of these enhancements to completely have every tool that the wizard has at your disposal. And look at Earth's response. If you unlock the heal, 220 HP per hit, if you unlock that, every time you use Earth's response, you'll heal yourself the number of times you hit the creature or player's character. Now, the reason the heal is colored in like a brown is because it doesn't apply in Path of Glory. So a section in the game called Path of Glory, he will not heal himself when using Earth's response. Now that that is spoken, let's say how you get these skill books. If you're in the world of Elion or Hadum, you fight creatures just farming, you'll get these books, and it's random. There's no specific spot you go to get a specific book. When it drops, pay the silver, learn it, increase your knowledge in that skill, and keep at it until you unlock all of your enhancements. That's how it works. when you go into Hadum, you'll get higher level skill books that will do more for you, and so on and so forth. So I highly recommend you spend the time to unlock all these enhancements, and you can see what they do for you when you use the skills. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the player card slide. Here we go. And welcome to this slide. It is like a baseball card. It is all the slides you previously saw, all compiled onto one screen for you to print out or just look at, because you may not have much time. So allow me to show you how this works. At the very top is all of the skills that the top 8 skills I recommended for PVE and PVP. And to the right of that is something new. I call it immobilization. Anytime that another player's character stuns you, knocks you down, knocks you up in the air, anything like that, and it takes time for you to get up and be ready to fight again, you have been immobilized. So what I've done is I've shown you what skills you have that has an immobilization in it and how many of those you have of it. So let's take Lightning Surge as our example. So if you look down at the skills below for Lightning Surge, which is the, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 one down, and you go all the way across to the specials. Now if you can hold the skill for continuous attacks, but it does a stun and a knockback. So those are 2 immobilizations. Now if you combo it with the other skills that they're recommending, it also comes with a knockback on hit. So that's where I came up with 3 immobilizations, counting on the fact you are going to combo with that skill. So Lightning Surge has 2 knockbacks and a stun to get on your opponent. Why is this important? I will explain it towards the bottom of this slide. So you already know about the skills and the passive, and we just got through talking about enhancements and the legend there for what's not applied in Path of Glory and what's not applied in Arena is displayed there. So if you've been wondering what forward guard and super armor is, allow me to read it to you. Forward guard. This means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Imagine you have an invisible shield in front of your character and somebody is attacking you head on. The damage that they're doing will be 0 or heavily reduced as long as you keep them in front of you. If they get behind you, all bets are off and they'll be able to damage you as normal. Now this is applies to a creature or a player's character in a PvP setting fighting you. Now super armor, this means that incoming damage will be reduced and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. And I do believe that there's icons that kind of give you a hint on when their super armor is no longer with them, but if there isn't, it really is hard to tell. So what I'm suggesting is if you attack your opponent with Lightning Surge, Lightning Storm, Voltaic Pulse, and any other combination with Mana Echo and everything down there, you're throwing the most immobilizations you possibly can at your opponent in hopes that when their super armor stops working, you'll see them hit the ground or get knocked up in the air, and you'll have an opportunity to get in an extra hit, maybe 2, and that really can turn the tide in a PvP fight. So that's why that section is there, and that's how this whole player card works. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change, and we're gonna move on to a gameplay video where we show you what the wizard can do. Here we go. And welcome. Before we get started, allow me to show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Prawn Castle entrance. And we're here because, well, their CP is 2,519 and ours is a measly 10,680. He'll be fine. So the way this works is we'll tap on this auto path and I'll have him fight for 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we'll go back to town and I will say thank you. So, without further ado, it is my pleasure to present to you the class Wizard. Here we go. And it's just about time for us to head back to town. There we go. So while the loading screen comes up, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the videos on this channel, please like, subscribe, let people know I'm always making more videos and there's so many more videos left to do. So what we do here is we move him around and pose him with a nice background, and we check out his 2 animations, which is his wave and his clap. So let's see how he waves. That is very different. Nice. And let's see what it's like when he claps. Very cool. So we're gonna just do it one more time in case you missed it on both of them. And while that happens, allow me to say thank you. Thank you once again, and you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.